Hello, my name is Carrie Cedergren, and I am standing in the lab portion of the AP Chemistry class. This is where we do our experiments. Everybody has their own lab bench, and they get to have sort of like a feeling of independence when they're doing their experiments. A lot of what we do though is in the classroom portion, we're actually taking things that we learned last year or previously in like an introductory level course, and we're just expanding on that and going into much more depth, and then learning obviously some new topics as well. So far the class has mostly been repeat information, a couple of new topics. Let me tell you some more about the class, about our Canvas page. This is the Canvas page that we use for class. I want to emphasize the Confucius quote: I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. I really, really, really hope that the students are really being active in class. I tried to walk around the classroom and look over their shoulder and make sure that they're on task and that they're doing the practice problems as we are doing them. The class is a flipped class, which means that they watch a video at night that I've made, and then for 10 minutes usually, sometimes they go to 20 minutes. I'm sorry, there's occasions where they're a little bit longer, and then they come to class and do the practice problems. That's sort of the way, so that way I can kind of walk around, watch what they're doing, help them on the spot, and as opposed to maybe just lecturing and then they kind of look out the window sometimes, or they space out or whatever. So if I see that kids are not taking notes or doing anything, then I kind of maybe go over and nudge them a little and say, hey, you should be writing this down, and why don't you try to do this problem or something like that. I have office hours every cycle. They can come by lots of different times. I'll be there in the room. They don't have to set up an appointment. I have a lot of little links for different things that they might need access to. The AP Classroom, they use AP Classroom with every single unit. The equation sheet in case they lost the one that I already gave them, et cetera, et cetera. I don't allow cell phones or earbuds or anything in the class. They can't even have them in their pockets. They have to be put away into their backpacks. We had a all school meeting where a guy talked literally about the improvements in your grade when you don't have a cell phone close to you, because there's a distraction. So I don't let them do that. I don't let them use their iPad or their phone as their calculator, anything like that. So I'm trying to be able to just sort of get them really, really focused in the class. We use the app Notability. It's on the iPad. Every kid has that. Every section of every unit, we do this thing called I do, we do, you do, where I do the first problem. We do the next one or together as a class, and then they go home and do the other ones on their own. And I give them answer keys before they submit them. So they have to do the work, grade it themselves, and then submit it. Quizzes, I sometimes announce them, sometimes I don't. Just sort of depends. AP Classroom, as I mentioned, the multiple choice questions have to be completed by 8 o'clock the day that we take the test. It's a completion score only, but they're really, really good. Those types of questions are a good indication of what they're going to see in May on the real AP test, and I try to mimic that on my tests as well. And not only will it tell you the correct answer, but it'll tell you why the wrong answer is wrong, which is good. I also have a textbook that hopefully your child has, and they can look at the book pages to help supplement their reading, or their learning, I should say. I hope that they are really, really, really paying attention to the book pages as well. The cycle sheet is color coded based on which section they are. If they have class on A2, then they're the royal section. If they have class A5, they're the green section, and if they have class A8, they're the purple section. If there's 2 or more sections of the same, I just highlight it in yellow. But for example, B78, the purple section is the only section that does the lab that day. So I give them, it's a purple for the whole day. As you can see, I in the same day I might be doing 2 or 3 different things. It just kind of depends. Like basically A day is the only day that they're doing the same thing. After that, they're kind of off schedule. Just depends on when they have a drop day, when they have a lab day, but that's okay. We get it all done. Eventually they'll catch up. We do at least 1 lab per cycle, and sometimes we'll do more than one if like an activity plus a lab, something like that. And there's always going to be notes and practice problems. So the notes are what the video is, except it's without me talking and without all the words. So sometimes kids have 2 devices. They can watch the video on their computer and then take notes on their iPad, something like that. Or they can just watch it on their iPad, stop the video, add some more notes, start it again, stop it, stop, however they want to do it. And then we do practice in class, and we also try to do the we do pretty much every day we do. And as we scroll along, you'll see that there's a couple of times where we're going to be doing a modeling lab and the percent copper and brass lab. So we're doing 2 labs, but they're kind of pretty different. The modeling lab, you're just going to sit at your desk and work with ball and stick models, and then the percent copper and brass, that's in the lab portion. So it just sort of depends. Sometimes their lab reports are collaborative partner reports. Sometimes they do it all by themselves. It just sort of depends on, which one makes the most sense. Sometimes just a couple calculations. Sometimes I want them to really have a good understanding. And so they write a more full report. Our next test is not coming up until, it's not for a while. PSAT, it's after the PSAT, so it's not until October 9th. So we will be done with all material from Unit 2 like a week before that. So they're going to have plenty of time to review and to practice and to do their IDWDUs and to do their any of the extra practice problems, and then the multiple choice section of the AP Classroom. If you go to modules, I have a lot of practice. Your child should never say, "Oh, there's no more practice for me to do." I have all the lectures. I have all the IDWDUs. They can access them through it's easiest to just click on the hyperlink on the Canvas page, the front page. But if they can't find it, or if the link broke or something, they can get them over here. Sometimes I have quizzes that I give them, just like I said, sometimes they're kind of just quizzes that are on the spot where I don't tell them. Sometimes we have little pop quizzes. Here's an example of some extra practice, and this one has my answers. It doesn't have audio, but it does have the answers, and they're by section. So for example, this is just what we learned in section 2.1. If there's any work, then I'll show the work, but if it's just like kind of simple like question 2, I don't really have any work that goes with it. But I try to show how I'm ruling out answers, that kind of thing, so that they can see what my thought process was. Usually there's multiple choice and free response. This particular section didn't have any free response. So there's a lot of problems there. Then like Lewis dot practice problems. There's a whole section on just Lewis dot practice, because that's one of those topics that if you don't just do like 20 different Lewis dots, you can't just do 2 or 3. You've got to do a whole bunch to get really good at it. Because part of the problem with, I think sometimes students have, is that they don't finish in time. They don't finish a test in time. And the best way to make sure you're going to finish is just to practice and practice and practice. So it's almost like rote memorization. It's in your muscle memory. And so I just have tons and tons of old practice problems or old tests or whatever. So I encourage them to do as many as they want. I usually have an answer key, whether it's an answer key that was provided through like the AP Classroom or something, or if it's underscore KC, that means that those are my initials. That means that I made the answer key myself. And then they can just keep looking at all the different units. I have a module for all the different units. I use announcements a lot. The announcements are easier to have access to. I don't need to go back and look through email. I can just easily find it on announcements. At the beginning of the first day of school, I had everybody make sure that they had their notifications set up so that they will always get announcements. We haven't had to use Zoom for a few years, luckily. Discussion board I don't use too often. The quizzes, they take every test they take is in the Canvas quiz form, and the quizzes are meant to mimic what they're going to see with the College Board at the end of the year. Because they're going to take it on their iPad, and it's going to be part multiple choice and then part free response. So that's exactly how I try to make it, so that when they get to taking the test in May, they already know, they're already really comfortable with that setup. That's my hope, at least. Why aren't you eating it? Where's your Bunsen burner?
Like, is this good if I just like I should leave it off like right here if it's like bubbling that much.
Oh, it's like a little bit. It's just like.
I don't want to burn myself.
Okay, ready? Cut the heat, cut the heat.
That's it?
Yep.
What's it doing? Like there's a...
What's it doing? What did I tell you it's going to look like?
It's foaming.
Okay, let's see. Breathe. Okay, take it out, take it out. Okay. Cut the heat, cut the heat, cut the heat. All right, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. We're just letting it puff.
Need it to wipe it down, right?